So my uncle has come over today, and I guess I was just talking to him about he's going to buy me breakfast, and I was just talking to him kind of about my sister and the situation, and I like talking to him even if he doesn't understand or doesn't really get what I'm saying most of the time. I guess I like to talk to him because I feel like I can hear what I'm saying and I can work out what I feel is true and what I feel is not true. And yeah, I was thinking about things and the sort of dynamics between people, looking at psychology and things like this. And I think when it comes to shared housing, it is a good idea. And if you've got situations that, say, social services want to try and take a child out of foster care and they think putting someone in social housing is a better idea because there's more people around, there's more people that can look after and stuff. If social services were getting involved in a deal like this, I think it is very, very good. But they would need to come up with some sort of contract. What happens if the child is left alone with the bad parent, or if there is certain circumstances that have changed things. I don't know when it comes to like finances, how much funding that a person will get, or if they are getting anything. But I guess thinking about the Outcast band and people following their hidden name being them who love and follow after people that they shouldn't. It's making me think of things, and I've been kind of thinking about how my sister is. She is a very passive person. She said that I said, what happens if you move it? Because I didn't even think she was really serious about this deal, or I thought if they were serious about this deal, that the plan or point of it would have been to get Leo out of foster care, and that sounded like a good idea. But then a week later, it turned out that she put the deposit down, and that they were already going to move into this house, this massive house, and it was just like, okay, this is good, and there's a lot of them, so they'll be able to. I was thinking all the positives. If there's a lot of people in a house, then it means that the children are more likely to be safe because there's more people able to look after a child. But then I was thinking about my sister and how passive she is. She's a sort of person that can be easily manipulated by people. If, say, there wasn't any government funding and actually she put down this house because she really wanted a big house, and this whole thing was something she wanted, which is great, but she's got a house in Birmingham. She doesn't need that house because she's got a 3-bedroom house in Birmingham, and she's got a flat down in the south. So her renting out this flat, if it turned out that it wasn't paid for by the government, then it would turn out that in a way she would be scammed. I was talking to my uncle then I called my mum just to confirm, and she said that she has actually pulled out now. I think the videos I'm making has scared her away, and I don't want to talk to my sister about this because I know she's going to blame it on me. Oh, you did this, you said this, and now she doesn't want to help me. I can imagine her saying that. She did the same about when it comes to Leo. Oh, it's your fault Leo's got taken away from me, blah 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 blah. No, it wasn't. I had nothing to do that would have happened either way, and it's got nothing to do with me. So she likes to blame me. She doesn't have a good view on me, basically. If I was to ask her all the things that she thinks about me, she's not going to say anything positive. She's not going to say anything nice. She's going to say I'm a bit mad. She's going to say I believe in things that aren't true. She's going to say I don't really think of others. I don't really have many friends. She's going to think of all the negatives because that's the sort of person that she is. She's not a very nice person, and she's not a very good judge of character. But yeah, one thing she said to me yesterday was that Lucy's similar to me. That's why we don't get on. That's why our characters are too fiery, I think she meant. But I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, well, if I was not to judge it by me actually being similar to her, because I don't think I am at all, but if I was to judge her by how Sophie judged me and how Sophie thinks of me, then her thinking that me and her are quite similar, I think that she's kind of like a controlling person, and therefore, if Sophie's in a house with a controlling person and 3 of her sons, the dynamics are going to be very, very wrong, and it's going to be not a good situation. And therefore, I feel like when I'm teaching people when it comes to social services, and if they did want to set up sort of combined housing to help help keep kids safe and stuff, I think they do need to think of the dynamics of how things will play out. And if someone is a fiery, dominating character, I think it's fine if their intentions are fine. And I'm not saying that this other person's intentions are not fine. I'm not saying that at all. This is not about her. This is not a video I'm making about this person or this family. I'm saying this, if she is watching this, I'm saying this because I'm using it as a hypothetical example of something that might happen. And yeah, but if the dynamics are wrong, you've got a controlling person that seems to be very good at manipulating, because that's what my sister thinks of me. If she was to describe me, she would say that I'm manipulating and controlling and fiery, and always thinks that she's right when she's wrong. That these are the sort of things that she would say to me. And if she thinks that me and her are similar, then I feel like she doesn't actually have a very good view. And part of me actually felt like she was scared for me that this girl might come and beat me up. So it made me almost feel like she was mildly intimidated or scared about her, about what she would feel if she was angry over something. Hence, she was encouraging me. My face has gone all red for some reason. Wasn't sunbathing yesterday or sunbathing the day before. I don't know why it's gone red now. But yeah, I feel like if the dynamics are like that, then it's a really bad situation for them to be living together, because this dominating person is going to control. And if she's got three older children, they're going to take the majority of the house. Sophie is someone who is quite timid and is easily bossed around, easily controlled, easily like, oh yeah, that's good, oh yeah, no, this is all my idea. And then it's just like, what, you just signed a contract for a £24,000 house a year, and or something like that. And technically you've got a 3-bedroom house and you've got a flat, so you don't actually need any of that. So why are you doing it? Oh, so Marco can go to work. I know, but Marco doesn't need to go to work because you've got enough money. Marco doesn't need to go to work. I think there's an obvious solution. My mum really is desperate for the kid. She was calling me up, oh, you're going to make me lose the child. I can't lose another child. Oh, I don't care if I have to rent out Sophie's flat. I mean, that was the idea. Sophie moves in with this house, in this joint house, and then my mum rents off this flat and lives in this studio flat, all to try and stop the child from being taken away. I'm just like, but that's stupid, because Marco is a good father. Okay, I think there's a debate on whether he can work from home whilst having a child. He's very good at multitasking, I have to say that. But can he multitask looking after a child when they're so distracting? He's got my sister as a support. That's definitely good. Can he do that whilst also working from home? It's debatable. I mean, I would struggle, but he actually seemed very good at multitasking. So I mean, every time when I was there, every time I asked, like, is the nappy, like, when was the nappy changed? How long was it? I can't remember how long this milk has been out. He always knew the answer. So I was kind of impressed at his ability to do lots of things at a time. So I think he has a high skill at that. But yeah, I feel like my mum should be more of a support. I think my mum's desperate for this child. Like, she's madly I would do anything to keep this child, and even if that means living in that flat, and I feel like that's the way. But if this other person wants to help, great. I'm not saying that this other person does not care about the child. I'm trying not to make it specific to this case, but I'm trying to just use this as a hypothetical example. But yeah, I think it's much better in this case them being separate, because if someone is very controlling and another person is very, yeah, I'll go with whatever you want, and then also slightly afraid of what might happen if they don't follow that person's lead. Thinking about the outcasts as well, people following the wrong types of people. My sister follows just whoever feels that she can be helped most by. If she feels someone is helping her, and she needs to rely on that person, then she will become very manipulated by that or easily manipulated by that person. So my mum and my sister clash, because my mum will do whatever my mum will do whatever's best for Sophie, even if Sophie treats her like shit. So that's a pretty bad dynamic, and my mum needs to change and not be like that. But yeah, if someone's not like that, then they can have quite if Sophie needs help from someone, then that person might actually be very too overly influential by that person. And if that person's intentions are to get a big giant house through council money, or perhaps to rely on that own person's money, you've got money in the bank, they haven't paid for this rent, they haven't paid for this house, that the council are dropping my claim because 2 of my kids are too old, aren't kids any longer. If something like that changed, this is why social services need to be getting involved, because they need to be getting involved in the contracts. This is the deal, this is the term, this is what you pay, this is what she pays, this is the room, this is this is what contracts are about, not contracts where social services just give vague opinions and just muck it about with jargon. My uncle as bipolar, and he was telling me today that there's a lot of doctors that have just lots and lots of meetings where they just talk jargon, and they just solicitors just talking nonsense, and he doesn't understand any of it, but because they talk intelligently or use intelligent words, it feels like they are helping. But really it's just kind of like it's like an artificial intelligence, because it seems like intelligence but it's not really intelligence. And so but yes, I just want to I want to say that I think if in situations where people are looking after kids and can't manage, putting them in a group environment is good, but only if the dynamics are right. If the dynamics are wrong, then you might just find that one person becomes kind of like a slave of the house. You know, you don't want a Cinderella case where the person who's the bad mum, you know, is just treated like a scullery maid, and as the other families, as the other Cinderella image that just come into my head there, to be honest. But you know, I can imagine that that being a similar scenario in my sister's case, just because she is very easily. But yeah, she will hate me for saying this. Oh, you've said this. I could have had that, and well, yeah, well, you could still have that. Just go and sign your own contract, go and pay your own money, and there we go. You've got a house, but at the end of the year, you're just going to be £24,000 less, you know, poorer. Technically, that's not that much wrong with that, you know. But yeah, paying rent does go through your money quite quickly. And if she's planning on buying more houses, she's not going to buy more houses if she's going to be renting, because renting sucks up your money pretty quickly, and especially with the market rate being what it is.